In this video, we are going to discuss on 4.1b, how to identify the feasible region.
Now, let's look at feasible region in a plane. What it means by feasible region in a plane? It means that it involves two or more inequalities. Okay? The region that satisfies a system of linear inequalities is called a feasible region. Label the region as R and shade. Okay? So here the first thing first is we need to know the step how to find the feasible region. So the step is the same as before. First thing first, we need to rewrite in the form of y equals to mx plus c, and then we need to find at these 2 points. Then the third step, we need to draw the linear graph, and fourth, we need to identify the region and shade, and also you need to label the region as R. For example 3, okay, so here we have shade the feasible region R which satisfies the following systems inequality. So here we have two inequality that we need to solve. Okay, so this is the first one and this is the second one. So let's do it for the first one first. Okay, we have x plus y greater than or equals to 5. Okay, please remember student, the steps are the same as before. Okay, so first we need to ensure that your y is on left hand side and it is positive. So for the first inequality, your y is on left hand side and it is positive. So we don't have to make any changes for this inequality. Then the second thing, we need to identify whether this is solid line or broken and whether this is upper the line or below the line. So here since we have included boundary line, so this is solid line, and also since this is greater than or equal, so it is upper the line. Okay. Then the first step, we need to rewrite your inequality x plus y equals to 5. Then we need to find at least 2 points. So let x equals to 0, y equals to 5. So we have 0, 5. Then let y equals to 0. So we have x plus 0 equals to 5. X will be 5. So 5, 0. Okay. Next, for the second inequality, okay, we have 2x minus y greater than or equals to 0. So you just repeat the same step. Okay. First, you need to ensure that your y is on left hand side and it is positive. So for the second inequality, we have negative y. So here, okay, wait. So here is negative, dear student. So that means we need to rewrite your inequality so that your y is on left hand side and it is positive. So it will be like this, 2x greater than or equals to y. So y less than or equals to 2x. Okay, so up to this stage, we can identify whether solid line or broken line and upper the line or below the line. Okay, so here, since we have again included boundary line, so this is solid line. The notation is less than or equal. So it should be below the line or lower the line. So first step, we need to write y equals to 2x. Then we need to find at least 2 points. Let x equals to 0. So y equals to 0. So here student, please be careful. Okay, since we let x equals to 0, y equals to 0, we cannot choose let y equals to 0 because we will get the same point, which is 0, 0. So here I let x equals to 1. So choose another point except 0. So let x equals to 1, we will get y equals to 2. So the point will be 1, 2. Okay. Next step, we need to draw the graph. Okay, we need to draw the linear graph. So please prepare your graph paper. Okay. And please ensure that we choose the correct or the reasonable scale. So here, okay, the scale that we will be using is for x-axis 5 units equals to 1, and for y-axis 5 units equals to 1. So that your graph will be make sense and will be good. So draw your axis. So this is x-axis and this is y-axis. Okay. So here, since 5 units equals to 1 for x-axis, so it means that this will be 2, 4, 6. Okay. For y-axis also 2, 4, 6. Because 5 units equals to 1. Since here we have 10 units, okay, so this is 2, 10 units, this is 4, 10 units, this is 6. So you should understand. So for the first inequality, we have the point 0,5. So mark your point 0,5 is here. And then 50 is here. Next, draw your linear graph. So this is your linear graph. This is solid line. Okay, make sure your linear graph is solid line because of included boundary line. Don't forget to label. Okay, please label your graph. X plus y equals to 5. Then, which region that we need to shape for the first graph, student? So here we have the upper the line. So the region will be upper the line. So it is here. Okay. Please remember, student, we don't finish it yet because we have the second graph here. Okay. So let's draw for the second graph. For the second graph, okay, the point is 0, 0 here and 1, 2. It is here. Okay. So the line is solid line. Okay, draw your solid line and then label your line. So your line is 2x minus y equals to 0, or you also can write as y equals to 2x. Also can. Okay. Next, the region is below the line. So below the line, it means it is here. Okay. So now we need to identify the feasible region which satisfies the following system inequality. So here we need to find the intersection. Where is the intersection happen? So the intersection happen here, right? Because here the shade from the second graph and here is the shade from the first graph. So the intersection of the shade happen here. It means that, okay, the region R will be here. I will be using the highlighter so that you can see it clearly. So the region is here. You need to find the intersection of the shade. Okay, so the intersection of the shade happen here. So this is the region, and then you should label your region as R. Okay, student? So now for B, here we have 4 inequalities that we need to consider. This is number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Okay, so here now let's start with number 1. Okay, we have x minus y less than or equals to 1. Okay, since here we have y on left hand side but it is negative, so we need to rewrite your inequalities. So it will be like this: x less than or equals to 1 plus y. So we need to rewrite so that your y is on left hand side. 1 plus y greater than or equals to x. So up to this point we will have solid line and it is upper. Okay student, because of included boundary line, so it is solid line. Then the notation is greater than or equal, so it is upper the line. So next we need to rewrite as y equals to mx plus c, x equals to 1 plus y. Let's find the 2 points. Let x equals to 0, 1 plus y equals to 0, y equals to negative 1. So 0, negative 1. Then let y equals to 0, x equals to 1 plus 0. So x equals to 1. So 1, 0. So this is for the first inequalities. Next, for the second inequality, we have y plus 2x less than or equals to 4. Since your y is on left hand side and it is positive, so we don't have to rewrite your inequalities. Next, we need to identify whether this is solid line or broken line and whether this is upper or lower the line. So since here we have equal, so it is included solid line. Then the notation is less than or equal, so this is below the line. Y plus 2x equals to 4. Okay, then we need to find at least 2 points. Let x equals to 0. So y plus 2 times 0 equals to 4. Y equals to 4. So the point will be 0, 4. Then let x equals to, let y equals to 0. So 0 plus 2x equals to 4. So x equals to 2. So 2, 0. Okay. Next, okay, I will be using the different ink. Okay. Number 3, we have x less than 1. What it means by x less than 1. Okay. So here we also need to identify whether this is broken line or solid line. Since here we don't have equal sign, so this is broken line. Okay. So please remember, okay, it is the vertical line. So x less than 1. So that means this is left plane. Okay, left plane. So broken line and the region is left plane. We need to draw the vertical line where the vertical line is when x equals to 1. This is for number 3. Then for the fourth inequalities, okay, we have x, y greater than or equals to 0. What it means by the fourth inequalities? The fourth inequalities shows that the graph or the region is in the first quadrant. Okay. The fourth inequalities shows that the region that you need to get should be in the first quadrant only. Okay, in the first quadrant only. So now prepare your graph paper. Okay, then we need to choose the reasonable scale. So what are the reasonable scale that we need to use? So x-axis, we will be using 10 units equals to 1. And for y-axis, also we will be using 10 units equals to 1. So now label your graph first, x, this is y, okay. For x-axis, 10 units equal to 1. So 1, 2, 3. And for y-axis, 10 units equal to 1 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So for the first inequality, the point is 0, negative 1. So mark your point 0, negative 1. It should be here. Okay. Negative 1. And 1, 0. 1, 0 is here. Okay. Then the linear graph must be solid line. Okay, so this is your linear graph, solid line. Don't forget to label your graph. X minus y equals to 1. Okay. Then the region is upper the line. So this is upper the line. Upper the line. Okay. Next, for the second inequality, the point is 0, 4. So 0, 4 is here. Mark your point. The second point is 2, 0. It is here. Then draw your linear graph. Label your graph. So you should label your graph. Y plus 2x equals to 4. Then the region is below. So this is below. Below the line. Next, the third linear graph or the third inequality is the vertical line, where the vertical line is x equals to 1. So don't forget this is broken line, okay, because excluded boundary line. So this is your x equals to 1. X equals to 1. Make sure you label your graph. And then the shade or the region is on the left plane. So this is the left plane. Okay. Next, for the fourth inequality, you must ensure that your region is in the first quadrant only. So first quadrant is here. Okay, student? This is the first quadrant. Okay. Next, let's find where the shading part is intersect. So here you can see that the shading part intersect is here. Okay, so I'll be using the highlighter so that we can see it clearly. The shading part intersect is here. Since it is in the first quadrant only, make sure you shade in the first quadrant only. So this is your region. Don't forget to label your region as R. Okay, don't forget to label your region as R. What we need to do for the balance shading, we need to erase. Okay, just erase the balance shading. If you don't want to erase the balance shading, also can. Okay, as long as you shade the correct region and you label the region as R. Okay, student, so the shading part is here. So you need to shade it like this. Shade it correctly. Okay, and then don't forget to label as R. Okay, student, for extra exercise number 1, it gives you x greater than y plus 1. So please remember what we need to do. We need to ensure that your y is on left hand side and it is positive. Since here your y is on right hand side, so let's rewrite it first. So you will get like this, y plus 1 less than x. And then I just show you where is the region. So the region is here. So I will leave it to you to do all the steps correctly. Don't forget to label your graph. Next, for number 2, we have x plus y less than or equals to 4, y less than 2, x greater than or equals to 1, y greater than or equals to 0. So we have 4 inequalities that we need to consider. So please ensure you do all the steps. Okay, student, I will leave it to you. And then I just show you the graph that you will get. Okay. So here, the scale that we will be using is for x-axis, 10 units equals to 2. And for y-axis, we will be using 10 units equals to 1. 1, 2, 3. So please label your graph. Okay, student? So the region that you will get is here. So please label it as R.